Welcome back to Ghosts of Justice, where we delve into the darkest corners of history and explore the mysteries that continue to haunt us. Today, we're tackling one of the most infamous unsolved crimes in American history, the murder of Elizabeth Short, a young woman whose dreams of Hollywood stardom ended in a gruesome and unforgettable tragedy. This is the story of the Black Dahlia. January 15th, 1947. A young mother, Betty Bersinger, was walking with her daughter near a vacant lot in Leimert Park, Los Angeles. What she found there would become a haunting image, seared into the collective memory of a city obsessed with glamour and dreams. Lying in the dirt, meticulously posed, was the body of a young woman. She was nude, bisected at the waist, and horrifically mutilated. Her name was Elizabeth Short, but she would soon be known to the world as the Black Dahlia. In this episode, we'll explore Elizabeth's life, the chilling details of the crime, the intense investigation that followed, and the enduring mystery that continues to captivate and disturb us. Let's dive in. Before she became a symbol of Hollywood's dark side, Elizabeth Short was just a young woman with aspirations. She was born in Boston, Massachusetts, on July 29, 1924, the third of 5 daughters. Her early life wasn't easy. In 1930, her father, Cleo Short, lost everything in the stock market crash and staged his own suicide, abandoning his family. He actually moved across the country and started a new life. But the family didn't know that for years. Elizabeth was only 6 years old. Growing up without a father figure, and during the Depression, must have been incredibly difficult. Elizabeth moved around a lot and eventually dropped out of high school. She began dreaming of becoming an actress, captivated by the glamour of Hollywood. In 1943, at the age of 19, Elizabeth moved to California, hoping to make her dreams a reality. She initially lived with her father, who had finally re-established contact with the family, but their relationship was strained. She bounced around a bit, working as a waitress, often struggling to make ends meet. Accounts from those who knew her describe her as beautiful and charismatic, but also somewhat naive and perhaps overly trusting. She was known for her dark hair, pale skin, and preference for wearing black clothing, which some say contributed to her later nickname. Elizabeth was definitely chasing a dream, but Hollywood in the 1940s was a tough place. There was immense competition, and young women were often vulnerable to exploitation. She wasn't getting acting roles, and she was working as a waitress trying to survive. She had a series of relationships, some of which seemed to have been quite tumultuous. She was engaged to a pilot, Gordon Fickling, who died in a plane crash during World War II. That obviously had a significant impact on her. Elizabeth's life was a blend of hope and hardship, dreams and disappointments. She was a young woman trying to find her place in the world, and tragically, her journey was cut short in the most brutal way imaginable. On the morning of January 15th, 1947, Betty Bersinger made the gruesome discovery that would change everything. The details of the crime scene are truly disturbing. I want to be clear that we're going to describe the scene without sensationalizing it. The focus should remain on the tragedy of what happened to Elizabeth. Elizabeth Short's body was found lying in a vacant lot near Norton Avenue. She was nude, bisected at the waist, and her body had been drained of blood. Her face had been mutilated with cuts, and she had been posed in a disturbing manner. The killer had clearly taken time to clean her body and arrange it. It was a deliberate and calculated act designed to shock and horrify. The police investigation was immediate and intense. The media quickly picked up the story, and it became a national sensation. The Los Angeles Police Department launched a massive manhunt, interviewing hundreds of people. The case was plagued by false confessions, and a media frenzy. The Los Angeles Police Department was under immense pressure to solve the crime, and they pursued numerous leads. The killer taunted the police by sending anonymous letters and notes, some cut out from newspapers and magazines. These letters referred to the murder and promised more Dahlia killings. One of the most chilling pieces of evidence was a lipstick message found scrawled on a mirror at a nearby apartment. It read, "Attending Lancaster Friday night. Have fun." Despite the extensive investigation, the police were never able to definitively identify the killer. There were many suspects, but none could be conclusively linked to the crime. Some of the most prominent suspects included Dr. George Hodel, a physician who was later accused by his own son, Steve Hodel, of being the Black Dahlia killer. Walter Bailey, another doctor who had performed an illegal abortion on Elizabeth ShortA. Several other individuals were considered persons of interest, but none were ever charged. The lack of forensic evidence was a major obstacle for investigators. DNA technology didn't exist at the time, and many of the forensic techniques we rely on today were unavailable. The Black Dahlia case became a symbol of unsolved crime and the dark underbelly of Hollywood. It remains one of the most famous and frustrating cold cases in history. Over the years, countless theories have emerged, each attempting to explain the mystery of the Black Dahlia's murder. As we mentioned, one of the most compelling and controversial is the theory put forth by Steve Hodel. Steve is a former Los Angeles Police Department homicide detective, and he dedicated years of his life to investigating his own father, Dr. George Hodel. Steve Hodel believes that his father, a prominent physician with connections to the Hollywood elite, was a serial killer, and that Elizabeth ShortA was one of his victims. He points to circumstantial evidence, including photographs, documents, and his father's knowledge of surgical procedures. The evidence is certainly intriguing, and Steve Hodel makes a compelling case. However, it's important to remember that it's still circumstantial. There is no definitive proof that Dr. Hodel committed the crime. Other theories suggest that the killer was someone Elizabeth knew, perhaps a former boyfriend or someone she had encountered in Hollywood. Another theory involves a connection to a medical school, given the precision of the bisection. Ultimately, the reason the Black Dahlia case remains unsolved is a combination of factors: a lack of forensic evidence, conflicting witness accounts, and the passage of time. Key witnesses have died, and evidence has been lost or destroyed. The Black Dahlia case has had a profound impact on popular culture. It has inspired numerous books, movies, and documentaries, each offering its own interpretation of the events. It's also a cautionary tale about the dangers of chasing dreams in a city like Hollywood, where vulnerability can be exploited. The murder of Elizabeth ShortA, the Black Dahlia, remains a chilling reminder of the dark side of Hollywood glamour and the enduring power of unsolved mysteries. While the identity of her killer may never be definitively known, it's important to remember Elizabeth as a person, a young woman with dreams who was tragically taken too soon. It's also important to approach cases like this with sensitivity and respect for the victim and their family. True crime can be fascinating, but it's crucial to remember the human cost. We want to know what you think. Who do you believe killed Elizabeth ShortA? Leave your thoughts and theories in the comments. Join us next time on Ghosts of Justice as we explore another fascinating and unsettling case. Thanks for watching.
Shadows dance along the old cobblestones. Flickering lights reveal what's left unknown. A distant whisper carried by the breeze. Mysteries hang thick through Their